Hey guys, and welcome to Railroads Online. This game's awesome. I've been playing this game with Captain Failure, and if you... Captain, I've demoted him. Colonel Failure. If you want to see us playing together, go and check out the series on his channel. I'll put a link to Colonel Failure's channel in the video description. So, yeah, I'm going to start a separate series. I'm sure the Colonel will be joining me now and then. We start off in this game with just a single locomotive. This is a porter locomotive named Betsy, and we've got one flat car. Well, what are we going to do with that? Well, we have to build a huge railway empire. Let me show you the map. We are at the freight depot. We're actually just a little bit away from the freight depot, our starting area. This is where, when you buy new vehicles, this is where your vehicles spawn. And we have to begin with, get a rail track built from the freight depot up to the sawmill, and from the sawmill to the logging camp, so that we can ship logs to the sawmill, transform them into planks and beams, and then bring them back to the freight depot, which is where we sell stuff. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Yeah, well, it's not quite that simple, because this game is very realistic. You have to do everything, and I do mean everything, from switching points to linking up your locomotive to wagons and all that kind of stuff. The attention to detail is astonishing. It's a fabulous game. So let's take a little bit of a look at Betsy, shall we? So we've got this is the firebox, and this is where we throw wood in. And you can grab wood from here and throw it in, which we'll do in a little bit. You've got over here, if I can actually highlight it, that's the brake. This is the reverser. This tells you whether you're going in like forwards or backwards. And then this is the regulator. This regulates the amount of power that you're transferring to the wheels. Okay. We've got the pressure gauge, the steam pressure gauge, which currently reads 0. And then over here, we've got the whistle, which won't do anything at the moment because we haven't got any steam pressure. And over here, we've got the bell, which I can't highlight. Oh, yeah, I can. There we go. Ring the bell. Now, the physics in this game are real-world physics. These trains are not glued to the tracks, so they will derail if you're not fairly careful. So, what are we going to do? Well, currently, Betsy is behind this wagon, which is not really where we want Betsy to be. We want Betsy to be in front of this wagon. So the first thing we're going to do is create a siding so that we can switch the positions of our wagons and trains. This is going to be called a loop siding, because it's going to be connected to a piece of track at both ends. So if it's only connected at one end, it's called a dead end siding. Did you know that? So the first thing we're going to do. This is our our construction menu, and I'm going to choose the saw because the first thing I'm going to do is cut down some trees. Now let me show you over here. This tells us we start at level 1, and we started with $2,000. For every tree that you cut down, it costs you $2, and you gain 5 XP. So this is actually a pretty good way to get your XP up. You also get XP for doing stuff with your trains, like loading and unloading and stuff. I think it's just the unloading, actually. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut down these trees that are in the way because we don't want those. And you can see they just fall down. Now, you don't get wood from these. Oh, no. Oh, no. The only place you can get wood from is from the logging camp. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and we're going to build some track. Now, you can see that the track essentially has 2 components. You've got the track itself, and then you've got this raised area, which is called the groundworks. So hence the phrase laying the groundwork. Right, what we're going to do is this is the freight yard over here. If I come around here, it actually tells you what it is. It says what it is on the tin. This is a freight depot. So what I want to do is I want a nice track going up the side of this so that we can pull our trains in and unload them. Well, okay, fine, but this area here is not at the same level as this area over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get my groundworks, constant grade. So this will, when you're laying ground, it will lay it at a constant grade that you set. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to come over to about here, and then I'm going to select this height. So it'll just be this height. Right now I can change the curve up or down. The grade up or down, but for now all I want to do, I'm going to run it over there actually. and just pop that in. Okay, so you can see that that track over there is a little bit higher than the ground over here. So let's grab some more groundwork. Constant gradient. I'm going to take this height. Now what I want is for this to just clip into these posts over here. So probably about there. Yeah, that's kind of perfect. Right. And then I'm going to run down here like this to make sure that this is nice and straight. So I think we want it about like that would be perfect. So I'm going to pop that in. Now, if I want to extend this, I can. Now you can do this freeform, or if you press the left Alt key, then it'll lock it in place, and then you can use your X and Y key to actually set fixed curves. So you can just increment it by a degree at a time, or if you press the Shift key at the same time as the X and Y, you can do it in quarter degrees. I'm going to extend this out a little bit. Let's see, we'll extend it out to there, and then we'll go a bit further and extend it out a bit more, and probably a little bit more. That'll do. Right, okay. Right, now that we've got that in place, we can go all the way back down here. The scale of this game is pretty huge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my demolish tool. I'm going to get rid of that. Hooray! Good. That's gone and out of the way. What do I want to do now? Well, I want to lay some tracks, don't I? That'd be kind of a good thing. So I'm going to get my rails. Now, I want this to be dead straight. Okay, but that's a problem because when you place down your tracks, right? Like there's nothing to kind of, you can only do it by eye. Okay, and you can only lay relatively short stretches of track at a time. That's it. That's as far as I can go. So what I like to do to make sure that I'm actually going straight is if I get a switch, I'm going to get a switch left. Now, because this is a bit longer, you can kind of line this up a bit better. So I want to be out just a little bit. I want the wooden bits just a little bit out. So if I plop that down like that, and then come up here and see, yeah, it's about right. It might be coming out just a little bit. So let me relay that. So I'll demolish that. Now this doesn't cost anything. Laying track doesn't cost anything at the moment. So let's get our switch left again. Let's see if I can't get this put in a little bit more accurately. I am going to be trying to do this like very, very perfectly, which is probably going to go hideously wrong. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Now I can kind of check that by if I get another switch left and just hook it up to there and go up here. Yeah, it looks like we're pretty consistent. That's nice. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to down here. I'm going to demolish this one because I don't want that one. And obviously I don't actually want this one. So well, what are you going to do? It's going, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another special piece. This crossover, this 90-degree crossover is a very, very useful piece of kit. Now you can see when I move it into the right place, you get that link icon. Now if I pop that in, it'll just link the two together. Okay, cool. So now I know that this is pointed in exactly the right direction. What I can do is demolish this piece. Oh, come on, demolish. There we go. And I've got my starting point. Hooray! Excellent. So, well, how are you going to get it straight now? The problem when you lay tracks, if I try and lay this track, right, there's no way to get it going dead straight. You have to do it by eye, which is a bit of an issue. Now, once you've laid the first piece, you can actually press left Alt and it'll lock into place. But the first piece you can't. So here's a little trick for you. What you do, you get a couple of these crossover pieces. So I'm going to put one, and then I'm going to put a second one. Oh, that's not what I wanted. What did I want? I wanted another crossover piece. Pop that in there. Right, then get rid of the first one. So get rid of you. Come here. if I can actually highlight it. There we go. Thank you very much. Now you're probably going, well, that's not really going to help you. What, you're going to do tiny little sections at a time? No. What you do is you get your 3-foot rail and you link it up, right? So now that's dead straight, that piece, but you can still carry on laying, right? Yeah, but you've got that piece in the way. It doesn't matter, actually. So if I now press the left Alt key, you'll see that it snaps into place and it will only go dead straight. So now what we can do is we can come up here and we can lay our first bit of track. There we go. Come up a bit further. And now it's a bit fussy when you're putting this down. Sometimes it doesn't want to go down. It's if there's one thing that kind of bugs me, this is it. Because look, got it. And it's very, very temperamental about actually laying the track sometimes. See, that one went in first time. And bump. And we'll probably lay like one more section. Come on, go in. See, it's very temperamental. We'll go out a little bit. We'll go on. We'll do one more. We'll go on one more piece. If you'll go in. Will you go in? There we go. Hooray. Okay, that'll do. Okay, look at that. We have got a lovely, beautiful, straight piece of track. Yes, guy, but you've got that stupid piece there. You know what? You just come back and you just demolish it. It's fine. It's not a problem. Boom. And then we do the same with this one. Although I'm going to leave that one then because we want to extend this out straight this way. So let's whack in a nice piece going up here. Now I'm going to put it in relatively short sections. And the reason I'm doing that is because at some point this track is going to intersect with a track that we're going to lay out of our starter area. And I'll have to demolish sections of this. So I want to be able to demolish only the sections that I need to demolish. Okay, so that's that done. Great. So what we've got to do now is go back and do the same thing coming out of the starter area. I'm going to have to go back here. I'm going to have to cut down trees. I'm going to have to lay the track. This game's it really is awesome. It really is awesome. When I first saw it, for like the first 5 minutes, I was like, what the hell? Really? You got to do everything? But once you get into it, it's crazy, crazy, crazy good. Okay, you know what? You've seen me lay track. You've seen me lay the groundwork. So this is going to be more of the same. I'll show you how I put the siding in, and then I'll kind of get on with it. So the way that I'm going to do the siding, I'm going to put in a couple of crossovers. I'm going to get a switch. This is going to be a switch right with the switch on the right hand side, and I'm going to pop that in there like that. Now you need to check and make sure that it's actually at ground level, because sometimes they have a mind of their own and they start going up in the air, but that one looks absolutely perfect. That's fine. So what I'm going to do now is I will continue this on, and then I'll put a switch coming off the other side, and then I've just got to connect this track to the other one. And I'm probably going to, because this is a piece of track which isn't going to get a lot of use, to be honest, I'm probably going to do that freeform. So let me get this built, and let me get that track laid and hooked up. Okay, the track is all laid and ready. So we've got the track coming out here. We've got the siding, the loop siding, and then it's also connected to the freight yard. So what are we going to do then? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in here, going to grab some wood, and we're going to throw that in the boiler. Well, no, we're not. We're going to throw it in the firebox. Then it's going to here, and we can see that this thing has a maximum of 50 fuel, which is I think 5 logs, and you can see the fire temperature is starting to rise, and now the water temperature is starting to rise. Now this takes a little while. It's ultra realistic, this game. Oh, look, you can see the heat coming out of the chimney. But yeah, you can see the water temperature is up to 15 degrees. We need to get the water up to 100 degrees, and then the boiler pressure will start to rise. And we need to get the boiler pressure up to, well, maximum boiler pressure is 120. So I tell you what, let's let that happen. Okay, we've just hit maximum boiler pressure, 120, and the steam emergency release valve, this safety valve, so that the boiler doesn't explode. Right, so we're all ready to go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to jump off the train, I'm going to go around here to the front, and I'm going to add a link. So, there is a link. Now, we need to keep that in place, so we need to put in a pin. That is how you put in a pin. Okay. Now, this car, the brake should be on, but I'm just going to check and make sure that the brake is on. Yes, it's on 100%. You can see in the top right-hand corner, it was on 100%. Go back to Betsy. Jump on board, and let's crank the regulator up a little bit, put it into forward, take off the brake, and we will ease our way forward. Let's drop the regulator a little bit and throw on the brake. Okay, looks good. Jump off, run around the front. All we need to do is put a pin in there. Right, now we're hooked up. Hooray, good job. Jump back on. Okay, let's crank up the regulator, take off the brake. Now, one thing you do have to be very, very careful about is how your points are set. Because if your points aren't set properly, you'll derail the train. So you want to make sure that the points, this kind of flag here, is set to the right direction. Now that doesn't apply to us because that's that set of points. This one is over to that direction. That's the direction we're coming from, so that's good. This one is over to the right, so we're going to go off to the right, which is exactly where we want to go, so that's fine. So we'll just tootle into here. I'll pull back the regulator and throw on the brake. We'll remove this pin so that we're no longer connected, and we ease back. Now, the points were set correctly before, so obviously they're set correctly now. Ease off and hit the brakes, and then we want this pointing over this way, and you can see the points move. So we're now going to go straight on. Hooray! Right, let's go... jump on board. Now I don't know. I think these points are set incorrectly, so we'll have to set them correctly. Let's crank up the regulator. And the sounds that the trains make, that the engines make, that the wagons make, are awesome. And the attention to detail, all of the textures, the world itself looks really, really nice. Ease back on the regulator. I think I need to cut that tree down. It's a little bit in the way. And here we go. Let's slow down a little bit. Put the brake on. Slow us down. And then that should be just about right. And jump off. Put the pin in it. There we go. Right, we are connected. Woohoo! Excellent. We've actually got our train sorted out. Now the points here. I flipped over that way, didn't I? Yeah. So we need to flip these points back again. There we go. That should be fine. Now this is going to take us nicely back into this siding. But there's a couple of things that I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the regulator. I want to buy some more wagons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of first person, or rather go back to first person, I should say. And then I'm going to go into the construction menu, and I'm going to go to locomotives. Now, this is all the stuff that you can buy. Now, at the moment, we're tier 1, or I'm tier 1, so I can only buy tier 1 stuff. So I can buy flat cars. I want to get some of these tier 2 flat cars, but I don't have the XP to get them yet. And then there's all this cool stuff. Tier 3, the flat car, the hopper, the oil tanker, the box car. This is all advanced stuff. Then you've got the hand cart, which can be very handy if you get into a jam, because it's only $150 and you can use it to get around. Then this is the train that we have at the moment, the porter, or the locomotive that we have at the moment. Then there's the porter 2, or the tier 2 porter anyway. Which is very similar. It's just got a little tiny tender on the back, so it carries more wood. It's the same power. The engine's exactly the same, but it does have an extra set of wheels. Now, the thing is, because it's got the same tractive effort as the one that we have now, but an extra set of wheels, it means that the weight of the train is now divided over 6 wheels instead of just over 4, which means that it doesn't actually pull as well as the tier 1, but you've got the extra wood, which is kind of nice. Then you've got like the Climax, the Heisler, the Cook Mogul. The Mogul is a kind of iconic train. You got the DNRG Class 70, and the Eureka, which is this is a passenger train. Passengers aren't in the game yet, but they will be. Am I going to get? I'm kind of tempted to get 4 of these flat cars. So and like another 3. What I'll do is I'll order 1. Now you can see it's appeared there. Now if I order another one, flat car order. Right, you can see it's appeared in front. Now there are 2 spawn locations on this track. There are 2 spawn locations on this track and 2 spawn locations on that track. So if I get another one, it'll appear on this track here, which we don't want because I just want to hook up to these. So you've seen me hook up to this. I'm going to hook up these 2 cars, pull them forward, get the 4th car, hook that up, and then we're going to go out and we're going to build some more track. Right, I just want to check the points. They're all looking good. So, let's jump on board and we'll go for our first proper drive. Oh, I tell you what I didn't do. Did I? I can't remember now because I went and checked the points. I don't know whether I took this brake off. No, I didn't. Okay, so there we go. Brakes are all off now. Good. Come on, Betsy. Let's go. Whoa! Betsy raring to go. Okay, let's slow things down a little bit going through the points. We don't want to get derailed. Here we go. Oh, working very nicely. Very nicely indeed. Look at that, we've got nice little train. These trains are going to get much, much longer as we continue with this series. But for now, 4 cars looks pretty good. Oh, this This takes Transport Fever to like really the next level, doesn't it? But boy, there is a lot of micromanagement. You have to keep stopping the train, getting out and changing the switches, and you've got to keep your eye on water and fuel and keep throwing logs on the burner and stuff like that. I am going to slow this down because we're coming to the end of our current track. So let's throw on the brake. There we go. Very nice. So this is where the track splits and we go off to the freight depot where we can sell our goods. And if I come down here a little bit, you can see I've got a pretty nice smooth curve going around here. Nice and shallow. And it goes off to the freight depot there. So what I need to do now is build a track that goes all the way up to the sawmill and then the logging camp. Now, this is probably going to take 2 or 3 hours to put in. Okay, I've left the track somewhere down there. If I point in the direction of the track, the track's down there. It's not completed yet, but I've come up here to the sawmill because I want to show you how this is going to work. So this is the Pine Valley Lumber Co. We are going to need to bring logs to this spot here, and then we'll unload them, and they need to fall into the pond. And then they'll go up this chute into here, and then they're processed into planks and beams, and we pick those up over there, and then we'll take them off back to the freight department. Now, the logging camp is over in that direction. So, the way we're going to do this is this. I'm going to come over here. Now, I want slightly raised ground again. Okay, so let's go all the way down to the end. I'm going to do this in one piece. All the way down to, let's say there. Yeah. Boom. In that goes. Cool. So I've now got my level. What I'm going to do is get rid of these pieces from over here. Don't need those anymore. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Cool. So having got this is going to go off down in that direction, and it's going to curve around and go towards, if I bring up the map, the logging camp, which you can see over there. And then what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to have this loop around the back of this building so that we come in from the logging camp, we drop off the logs into the lake. Very nice. Then we'll bring the train around the back of this building. So I'll build track all around here in a nice, probably a fairly big loop around here. Over to here, which is the loading cranes. You're going to love these when I show them to you. So the track will loop all the way around here, then go up here. This is where we load up either the beams, these are the beams, or the planks, these are the planks. And then it'll come around here, again, hopefully a fairly shallow curve, and then it's going to cross over this line. So what we'll actually have is one of these 90-degree pieces. Where are they? One of these 90-degree crossover pieces. I'm thinking probably somewhere about here, and then our track will go off and meet up with our track coming from the freight depot. So that's the plan. All I've got to do now is build it. Right, I've come up to the logging camp now. Let's take a little look on the map, so you can see exactly where I am. I'm kind of under the N in logging, and as you can see, this is pointing towards the L in logging. So that means if I turn around, we're pointing in that direction, and that's not the way that we want to go, because the terrain is I was going to say the terrain's a bit lumpy. It's a lot more than a bit lumpy. It's very, very, very lumpy. It's very hilly around here. And I'm surveying the area and trying to figure out what is the best way to do this. It's, yeah, it's not great, I've got to say. See, if we go out this way, we end up hitting this this big ridge. Well, you can see it there. And it's actually pretty darn big. It's certainly going to present a problem for track building. So I'm going to have to spend some time laying and relaying different paths and finding out which one's going to be the best. This is going to be a challenge. And there it was, all done. Yep, the entire track is now laid from the freight depot all the way to the logging camp via the sawmill. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Well, let's have a look at the cash situation. I have reached level 2. Woohoo! 1500 XP from like cutting down trees. And I'm only left with $500. Now, I have stuck to $500, and there's a very good reason for that, because I want to buy some stuff. We are going to go into locomotives, and we are going to buy a couple of these tier 2 flat cars. Now, this is going to allow me to haul lumber and rail beams. So we'll haul the logs from the lumber camp to the sawmill, process them, then load them up on these cars. So I'm going to order one of those, and then I'm going to go in. Well, try that again. Go in here again and get another one. Order, please. Okay, cool. I'm going to make a bold claim, I think. Yes, I'm going to make a bold claim. I am one for doing that now and again. I think that I have laid this track so well that I'm going to be able to run the full length of the track at top speed. Like, absolutely full on. Right, so bump into that one, bump into that one. Okay, we're all hooked up. Let's go. I can't wait for this. Let's throw some wood in the fire, so we're all stocked up. Okay, how are we looking? So we're maxed out on fuel. We're down, our water level is down to 355, so we'll have to top up when we get to the other end. But other than that, we're all ready to go. So put it into forward, regulator to full, brake off, and off we go. Oh yeah. I'll show you these state cars once we get to the other end. Oh, I tell you what I didn't do. I tell you what. Well, I'll show you now, because I tell you what I forgot to do. I forgot to take the brakes off on these two. I thought we were going a little bit slowly. So let's take the brake off on that one. Take the brake off on that one. So look at the detail. The textures on these are amazing. Just awesome. Okay, right. So now, yeah, like this is probably a really bad idea. I am going to run this thing flat out all the way there, and we'll see what happens. There is one bit of track that I'm a little bit nervous of. You'll see when we get there. Right, go. Engineer, drive that train. But if this all works, it means that the full length of the track, there are no signals that need to be changed currently. And you can, assuming that I can run it flat out, I've done my best. I think there's it's at least 50-50 whether I can run this flat out. There's one corner that I rushed, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know. It's just that one corner that I'm worried about, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get on with this. So, it certainly moves, doesn't it? Oh, that's a nice corner. That should do it. Okay, let's get back here, switch this signal. The level of realism in this game is kind of crazy. I hope this doesn't derail this. That would be bad. Okay, I think we'll be okay. We will soon find out, won't we? Okay, and back in the cab. Here we go. Crank it right up. Take off the brake. Go. Is that car going to be okay? Yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Right, we start this with our really long straightaway. Now, I'm pretty confident about the corner that runs back into the freight depot. Let's zoom out a little bit. It's a lovely long sweeping curve that runs into the freight depot. So I haven't got any worries there. My only worry is, like I said, there's one corner at the sawmill, which I kind of wish I'm sure that I will go back and redo it and make it smoother. But it was a little bit tight, and it was one of the last bits that I did, and I kind of rushed it a little bit, and I was like, yeah. But it's fine. So we've come to the end of the first straight. Now, the other thing about this is that nowhere on this entire track does it exceed a 2% gradient. Look how, this is the logging camp here. Not the logging camp, this is the sawmill. That's how fast. So we've got a straight, then one curve, then another lovely straight. Then we've got this curve, which looks pretty good. Could be smoothed out a touch, but it's good. Then we come to our crossover point. Now, ultimately, what I want is two separate trains running on here. There'll be one which will just haul logs from the logging camp to here. So it'll just be running on that side of the track and just go backwards and forwards. And then there'll be another train hauling the products down to the... This is the corner. Oh, is it okay? It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm sure I will go back and rework it because it was a little bit steep. But it's fine. Okay, so now we go past the pond. This is where we'll be dropping the logs off on the return route. We go back over the crossover. Now, this track is a little bit windy, this section of track, because I was doing my best to follow the terrain, because like I said, I didn't want to exceed a 2% gradient anywhere on the track. There are a few bits of 2% gradient, and then there's some 0.5%, some 1%. It's possible. I was going to say it's possible that I might go back and relay some parts of this track, just to try and get this down a little bit. But to be honest, it's absolutely fine. It doesn't need doing. And I've got to say, I'm very pleased with my track laying. Even though I do say so myself, very pleased with the track laying. It's nice and smooth. Isn't the scenery beautiful? It's a wonderfully immersive experience. Just driving your trains around. I mean, it's incredibly fun. I thought all the micromanagement of, hooking up the cars and doing absolutely everything manually would be a real pain. But it's totally not. It just immerses you more in it. It's so much fun. Right, we're just about to run out of fuel, but I think we're almost there. So, yeah, we're out of fuel. Our boiler pressure's running down. But Are we going to make it? I don't know. We should make it, I think. No. I don't think we're going to make it. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. You've only got to go a tiny bit further. Oh, man. I should have thrown a bit more wood in. There we go. Okay, now I've got to wait for the pressure to come back so that we can pull into the station. But I am so pleased that we were able to run the entire track, full throttle, no switches. It's beautiful. We were also out of water, so I've thrown a water tower here, and that gives me the opportunity to show you how these work. So on top of here, there is a cap. You don't actually have to open that, but again for the immersion. And then you just pull this down. That's a bit too far. And you'll see the water comes out, and all you got to do is get this in the right place. Go. Yeah, come on. A little bit further. There we go. How's that? A little bit more. There we go. And if I lift that up a fraction. There we go. Our water level's up at 500. Okay, good. That'll do very nicely. Right, let's lift that up again. There we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Water Tower. I'll probably put a permanent one up here, probably a little bit further up. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so let's get this train into the station. So crank up the old regulator and take off the brake. Now I want to pull in fairly slowly and under control because there isn't a lot of track. I need to extend this track out further. The reason that I've just left it there is because I was debating whether I was going to put in a turnaround loop or whatever, but we'll see. That's for another day. Right now, all I want to do is get this train loaded up with logs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and position this car, the end of this car, pretty much at the end of these, well, maybe midway along these steps, is about there, is what I'm thinking. And okay, so you've got these cranes, and when you turn them on, they will grab a log, pick up a log, grab it, turn it around, and plonk it on there. Right. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit too far forward. Just a little bit. So then, now I've got to run backwards and forwards between these two. Telling them to pick up logs. Okay. How awesome is this? Really, it is. This is like every train enthusiast's dream to be immersed in a model railway, operating all the equipment. It's amazing. It's an amazing feat. Okay, we're fully loaded. Okay, this is going to be the real test. Can we run this backwards, downhill, with a full load at full speed? Well, I guess we're going to find out. Let's load up with wood. Okay, how are we doing? So we're good. Water level's good. Yeah, everything's fabulous. Right, let's do this. Regulator to full. Reverse into... no, we want it in reverse. And take the brake off and off we go. Now, I don't know. Like, half of me says, maybe you should just take it steady. But I don't know. I guess we'll keep an eye on it and we'll see. Again, I think it's just that one corner in the sawmill area that gives me concern. This I think is fine. Yeah, it's fine. All of these corners are well within the limits, I think. That's probably the sharpest bit, other than the part in the sawmill. You know what? I wish you could zoom out even more. There's only 3 levels of zoom. You've got this one, and this one. And I wish there was like you could go out just further, or to almost get like a Transport Fever kind of view, you know? One thing I will be doing is cutting down some of these trees and making this a bit wider, so that when we're riding these trains, you can see a little bit more. It's a little bit tight at the moment. I'm not going to take them like way back, but just like, so like that tree would go for sure. That one would go for sure. That one there. That one. Just push it back a little bit. Create a little bit of a corridor through here, so you can just see a little bit more. I can't wait. I can't wait to try and get to some of these other places on the map, because there are some crazy places to get to with incredible grades. I was talking. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. Oh, hello. Let's see. So I just hit the emergency brake. Let's keep going a little bit further. Get you moving, and that'll do fine, I think. Oh, stop. Put the brake on. Why did I put the brake on? I actually need to pull forward a little bit now. Bonehead. Just a little bit. That'll do. Right, now put the brake on. Okay. This should be enormous fun. So currently, we have 0 of a possible 100 logs. The most you can have in here at any one time is 100. Let's put these logs in this lake. Okay, so drop them. And each one of these logs is worth $10. So we've got 24 logs, should be worth $250 to us. There they go. And if we bring up the cash, $240. Oh yeah. God, this is so good. Right, let's say put it into reverse. Give it a bit of gas. Actually, like, why am I worrying? Just slap it round there. So you can hear some of the sound effects of the saws and whatever going. Now that we've got some logs in here, they'll be processing this into lumber and beams. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around. We're going to pick up a couple of cars worth of lumber, which we're then going to ship down to the freight yard, and that should give me at least enough to buy another car. And have some left over, I would think. Let's slow this down a little bit. In fact, that might be too far. It might be too far, but let's see. Oh no, might be okay. Right, well, let's give it a try. So this is the lumber. We have 10 lots of lumber currently. Oh yes, one's loaded up, and the other's like, yeah, perfect. So oh, who knew just loading up trucks would be this much fun? It's crazy. Okay, we're all full. Let's do it. Let's get this show on the road. Let's see, am I going to need some more fuel? Yes, I am, of course I am. Let's get you Nice and full. Okay, how are we doing? Water's good, fuel's good, pressures are good. Right. Let's go. So we want to be in reverse. Take off the brake. Bang up the regulator. Full speed ahead. Now, I did change that switch, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So we should be able to go full speed all the way into the freight depot. I've got to say, I do love how this layout works out here. I'm really in two minds about whether I should put in turnaround loops. The problem with turnaround loops is that you start introducing switches into the equation, which means, like, for you guys just like watching me do one run, I'm sure it'd be probably quite interesting to see me hopping out and changing switches. And the problem is that when you're doing multiple runs to try and get cash, it just slows the whole thing down. So if I can avoid those kinds of things, then I'm going to avoid them initially. But we are going to have some cool things going on. I am going to put in a shunting yard. There'll be certainly tons and tons of switches going on there. And things, like, everything's going to have to evolve like a hell of a lot. You can't operate this, like, if you're going to build the full empire and ship everything that's on the map, you're going to need a fairly elaborate setup. This is very, very simple and basic at the moment. I can't wait. I can't wait to get to all of the other stuff. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to cut these damn trees down so that you can actually, like, look at the train better. I do love this huge, long, straight. And it is dead straight. Absolutely dead straight. Here we go. The switch was set correctly. Hooray. And we're headed into the freight depot. And yep, we can do the route at full speed, which is a thing of beauty. Right. Let's slap the brake on. Oh, here we go. So, let's go up here and unload this one. And unload this one. And I'll bring up the cash so you can see the cash rolling in. Each one of this is giving us $12. So we have got $384 just from one run, and I've only got 2 cars. So yeah, the task now is going to be to initially get another couple of these cars so that I can do 4 and 4. So I can do like 4 loads of logs, bring them back, process them, and then bring 4 loads of either beams or lumber back down here, and then repeat the process. The ultimate goal is to get another engine and have 2 8-car trains. That's kind of the next goal. So I am going to be busy doing runs up and down to try and get all of this money, because it's a lot of money. We're talking, I don't know. I mean, you're talking thousands. Doing this run just got me 400. So with another couple of cars, it'll be only a little bit more, say 450, maybe somewhere around there. We need to buy. So to get to the 2 trains, 8 cars, I would need to buy 4 flat cars. That's 1,200. Then I'd need 6 of these, which is 1,500. So that's 2,700. And then let's see. I would need another porter, which is 2,900. So yeah, we're talking about a lot of money, a lot of runs. Just think of all the fun that I'm going to have. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this first video. If you did, maybe think about hitting that like button or smash it. Make sure you subscribed. Remember to check out the me playing with the Colonel on the Colonel's channel. Link in the video description. I will definitely catch you for the next one, because I'm going to play the hell out of this. Catch you for the next one. Peace out.